Yes, everybody, we are back with some more Jujutsu Kaisen content, ladies and gentlemen. And I had a bit of an inquiry, a bit of a theory I was thinking of, ladies and gentlemen. So a couple of days ago, I asked you all on the community post, I asked you all, will anime onlys enjoy the Culling Games more than manga readers? Now, if you were not in the Jujutsu Kaisen fandom when the Culling Games were being shown week to week, it was a bit of a mixed bag for most people. Some people felt like Yuji didn't get enough screen time. Some people felt like Gege wasn't taking his time. People thought that the Culling Games were all over the place, and they didn't really see the vision that Gege was cooking. And this was due to a myriad of different things. One of the biggest things being Gege's health at the time. If you all remember, near the beginning of the Zenin extermination event that happened, you have Gege taking, I believe it was a 3-month break from the manga because his health got so bad to that point. As we all know, Gege has had various issues with his health, going with these super long running schedules that Shonen Jump has had him on, which is why I'm glad in Modulo he's taking more of a backseat and he's actually writing a lot more. I still do wish to see his art, but nevertheless, the schedules that Shonen Jump and Shueisha have their mangakas on is absolutely insane, and it is understandable why Gege would be out for 3 months. Also, it was revealed that near the tail end of Shinjuku, when he was on break once again for a couple of weeks, I believe he had to have had his appendix removed, which is a very, very, very intense procedure. It's not life-threatening, but it's gonna put you on your ass for a hot minute. So people obviously did not have a super great time with Gege being on break, and you have the actual chapters. A couple of them were coming out a bit rough with the Zenin Clan extermination. Now, I like how this looks. I don't necessarily know if Gege himself would want to keep it in the anime because it might remind him of a dark time of his life, and that's perfectly fine, perfectly valid. I think artistically, to make it seem more chaotic, if they went off model and went crazy balls to the walls with this, I would actually like it. I would enjoy it personally, but that's just personal preference. So you have that, and you have tons of people also of the opinion that the Culling Games are showing off way too many characters and we don't have enough time to get enough development with them. And to that, I kind of agree. And I think the anime will have to do some backpacking with giving us some more character interactions and some more lighthearted moments. Juju Sampo might be back because Shibuya obviously was way too dark for Juju Sampo. It obviously would not make sense with how chaotic and crazy that arc was. With Culling Games, it's a little more lighthearted. There are technically more stakes than Shibuya, but also less. It feels less heavy, so I could totally see it being a thing. And combine this with the fact that Higuruma also has a slew of online fans that thirst after him, and I can't get away from some of these tweets sometimes. I could see Higuruma having tons and tons of fans with his introduction. People gonna be talking about how he's aura maxing in the bathtub and yada yada yada. Obviously, we know the animation is gonna be great, and come on, Jujutsu Kaisen is one of MAPPA's flagship series. You think that the animation is gonna be bad? No, absolutely not. Obviously, you have people like Hikari. Now, Hikari, dude, the amount of TikTok edits I'm gonna see on my For You page daily, it's gonna be legend. Generational run, man. Yeah, I know y'all remember that funk, that boom, 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 that funk. Y'all remember that. So obviously, seeing people enjoy his character, that would be a joy to see. There's people that believe that the Culling Games had pacing that felt inconsistent. You had sudden cuts, hard jumps between colonies, abrupt POV switches, and the weekly serialization made this a lot worse, where anime onlys actually will have a chance to have more cohesive story flow as well as intentional scene transitions. We'll be able to focus on one colony specifically at the time. Sendai Colony will absolutely be fantastic. I cannot wait for Sendai Colony and how people will react to that. And generally speaking, there is this very big discourse between anime Megumi fans and manga anime fans that doesn't really get talked about enough. And I definitely think that anime Megumi fans will enjoy this series way more because while yes, people like Noah, that's my guy, shout out to him, shout out to bro, people will agenda scale Megumi so hard to the point where they forget about his character and like what his purpose in the story serves. I don't really see that with the anime community as far as JJK goes. People like his story. They like everything with Toshi. Toshi? Who the fuck? People like everything with his background. People like everything with Toji. I'm hoping we get more time with Megami's sister specifically as well. That's one of Gege's biggest shortcomings, as he's talked about with the Culling Games. Again, MAPPA has a chance to kind of clean some of this up. In terms of people felt that the Culling Games pace was a bit too fast as well. Which, I mean, to be honest, JJK's pace is already fast as it is. I don't necessarily feel that the Culling Games were faster than anything else JJK has done up to this point. Obviously, with the advent of modern schedules for these authors, and just because of how well known that people know that these authors are not being treated well, none of these authors are taking tons and tons and tons and tons of time to tell their stories. Not to say that they're cramming, but you look, no one is really making 500, 600, even past 400 chapter stories anymore. It's just, especially on Shonen Jump, it's just not sustainable. People want to tell different stories. People want to move on. And it's perfectly fine. It's acceptable. I mean, after this season of JJK, I'm anticipating we'll have one movie, Gojo vs. Sukuna. That's 100% going to be a movie, 100%. And then we'll have Shinjuku. So really, Shinjuku itself could be a season, but it does feel like it's relatively short. They are 100% going for the ending where Sukuna takes over Megami's body, by the way, because I believe the episode count got leaked at 26. 26. I thought it was going to be like 18 to maybe 21, but 26. Damn, I actually did not think they were going for it. By the way, I'm not showing any sort of panels or clips from the season 2. By the way, I'm not showing any sort of clips or anything from season 3 because I don't need them breathing down my neck. I already just had a copyright claim trying to go through and I had to block it, so I'm okay. Another big thing that I think that the manga readers encountered was most manga readers came in expecting Shibuya level intensity or Gojo vs. Sukuna immediately and picture perfect choreography. When the Culling Games itself, it kind of zigzagged around us, but anime onlys will come in blank and they have expectations of what they want the arc to be, but also it's been 2 years since Shibuya, so not everybody remembers everything. If you look at some reactors, they don't remember all of the finite details of Jujutsu Kaisen. If you do reaction content, I will kindly ask you to do a recap of JJK because there's some important stuff that does need to be looked at. But again, if you don't, hopefully the anime will talk about it. If not, whatever. But anime only is coming in blank have the opportunity to experience what the arc itself wants to be rather than what they expected it to be. Never mind the fact that the Culling Game itself has many lore dumps that many readers, including myself, had to reread multiple times over to really get a big feel for. When I made my Why Higuruma Matters video, I had to reread his backstory a couple times because upon my initial read of it 4 or 5 years ago, it didn't really hit to me why this was so important for his character. I knew it was a case that he ultimately lost and why he snapped, but I didn't take in the significance of it until I went back into reread. The anime can add diagrams, short flashbacks, explanation scenes, as well as visual cues for rules, specifically Hikari's domain itself. The voice acting in dub definitely helps this out a lot. And MAPPA already did this for the hidden inventory arc, so this precedent has already been set. But in my personal opinion, the arc's biggest weaknesses are readability and momentum, as well as accessibility for certain scenes. Some of it is a translation issue, which is perfectly fine, but the anime, I have faith, will fix it. If they don't mess up the subtitles like they did with Makuta and Mahoraga, I don't know how that happened. I don't know who that slipped past, but I don't do that again, please. Seeing the goalposts move in real time with people not really liking the Culling Games to actually being so hype in anticipation, it's Jujutsu Kaisen. The name itself carries hype and people talk about it being the best new gen and yada yada yada, but seeing manga readers themselves say that the Culling Games is some of the best Jujutsu Kaisen has to offer, when it was coming out, it did not feel like that. People, that was not the overall sentiment. People are lying. They're lying to you. They're lying. Don't get lied to. Listen, take everything people say with a grain of salt on the internet. Most likely someone's lying to you. But we will see, man. Jujutsu Kaisen, we are 2 months from Jujutsu Kaisen Hidden, man. We're about to have Jujutsu Kaisen anime airing as well as the manga going at the same time. I have not had this since 2023. Yes, God! Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm ready. My body, yes. I feel bad because on one hand, this is a small tangent. On one hand, I feel like I've said everything I want to say about Jujutsu Kaisen at this point, besides some small video essays here and there. But I made over 120 videos on Jujutsu Kaisen at this point, and I have friends in the YouTube space who are just talking nonstop about this new JJK season. I feel like, damn, I don't really know if I have anything else to say. I'm sure I can milk something out, but it feels kind of disingenuous to myself, and I don't really know if I want to go down that route personally. But if you guys want to hear more JJK content, let me know, I guess. One of those hard things about being a YouTuber is, you know, being truth to... One of those hard things about being a YouTuber is being truthful to yourself, you know, so, yeah. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. Do you guys think that anime onlys will like the Culling Games more than manga readers? Do you think they'll like it less? Do you guys think that MAPPA will mess up? They're not messing it up. But let's keep it a buck. They're not messing anything up, man. Again, someone needs to draw me MAPPA's #1 fanboy with a hat. Please draw me with that. But yeah, it's me, boy Daffy, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this video. Please make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. You guys make sure you take care of yourselves and have a good one. Peace.